How's it going, everybody? My name is Pancake. Welcome back to some more Halo Supercross racing. We got our replica AMA series going on today. I'm going to be showing you the main event from round number 6 at Seattle. Coming into this one, 4 points down off of the lead in second place to the Triumph racer Le Jefe. If we can get first, maybe hope for a little bad luck on his end, we could find ourselves with the red plate heading into Arlington next week. Heat race, not much to talk about. As I've pointed out, I've been winning all my heat races this season. Not so much this time. I didn't even want to show you guys this heat race because it was ugly. But I felt good about my speed, even with all the unfortunate chaos of the heat race. The track this week, the best way that I can explain it is think of it like a mutter in real life. Even if someone's in the lead, they're almost guaranteed to make a mistake that's going to cost them 5 seconds. Just the way that this track was, mistakes were almost inevitable. So my strategy going in was just go as fast as you can. Mistakes might happen, mistakes might not happen, but if we just lay down the speed and the pace, then we'll see if we can come out with the victory. So let's jump into the main event, check out how it goes, looking for back-to-back victories. All right, here we go, lined up. Like I said, 2 from the right of the doghouse. Looking for a good jump here. Really nice jump compared to the people around us. We have plenty of space. Got a Kawasaki to our left, and the points leader on the Triumph is going to take the whole shot, but check this out. I'm going to let off, jump long into the face of that next double, so we're side by side by side, 3 wide into the berm. The Kawasaki gets put up over the top of the berm, fighting into that corner, and boom, this is the start, executed exactly the way that we needed it to. Not a great starting position, but we managed to pull it off. Take a deep breath right here because the battle is on for the points lead here. Le Jefe up by 4 on us, 4 back from the points lead. Looking to at least chop it down to 1, but hopefully even more, and this is going to be an all-out duel here. I can give you guys a little sneak peek. Be prepared for many lead changes in this one with the track on hand. You see, I'm going inside here trying to be aggressive, and I hit the pole. I was trying to run it in there on lap 1 and make him uneasy right off the bat, and that strategy did not work out. So kind of got to reset a little bit, lost some time. The fast way through the sand is to do that triple in from the outside berm, railing around that berm before, tripling through the sand. But the inside line, kind of double singling, is not the worst. Just all the rhythm sections on this track are kind of particular. They're not exactly hard. It's not hard to clear the jumps. The jumps aren't big, but just the way that the mongoose and the suspension reacts to everything. Like on this jump, for example, it's kind of a rough landing on that first one. So we've made up some time, though, definitely on lap 3 here. Technically, that first lap was considered a full lap. And this whoop section is treacherous, as you will see throughout the race, but really nice run right there. Thought about putting it on the inside just like last lap, but actually going to tuck in here, take the fast line with Le Jefe triple. We're letting off in the air there, resetting down into first gear so we can speed our way through the most left side of the sand as we possibly can without it being uncomfortable. Pretty simple there, just triple, single through that rhythm. We're going double, triple here. The second double, it's easy to go long on that, and then you end up casing the triple out, so you gotta be careful. Made up some time though here. Definitely a good lap from us right there. Look at that overall best lap time of 56 flat. I know it says 56.5, but just a weird quirk with the game type. Whenever you only see 2 digits on the right side of the decimal, that means you're in the 0.0 range. So really key to downside this triple well. Notice I kind of hung the back tires a little bit, and whenever you hang the back tires, it's really easy to mess up the whoops just like that. Kawasaki racer, not the one that we're used to seeing up front, not Camo Nice, his teammate D-Mills NY putting in a good ride here. Actually won the heat race that I was in, looking for his best finish of this season so far. And you notice we lost so much time just in 1 lap there on the whoop section. Not something I'm super worried about because, like we said, mistakes are almost inevitable on this track. So just got to stay as consistent as you possibly can. Notice there, kind of went a little long on that second double, so flipped the triple out. Kind of an ugly lap right there. We had just ran a 56 flat, and we come across the line with a 58.7, so more than 2.5 seconds off of the time that we just put in. And we're looking for as many sub 56s on this track as we possibly can. Little case there on the double, so this opening stanza of the race here, this opening 5 minutes, Not really exactly what we're looking for, but we did execute the start really well, put ourselves in great track position, so we can afford a couple of mistakes here. I felt really solid about my pace. Kind of an interesting fun fact, I was in the lobby for the other heat race that Le Jefe won, which put him on the inside, had the first overall gate selection. So I was in that lobby, those guys were running their speed, it was Le Jefe and Nuked Ice Cream, some of the faster guys, and I just hopped on the Goose for one lap after their heat race and ran the overall fastest time in the session. So I felt really confident about my speed. I knew I'd be able to reel in Le Jefe if I really needed to lay it down, but again, this track is just so treacherous that you got to be very careful. Speaking of Nuked Ice Cream, on the Husqvarna in the pink right behind us, finished second to Le Jefe in the heat race, so I have those two sandwiching me here while I'm sitting here in second place trying to make up the gap, make up that buffer to the lead. Just trying to put in solid laps here, lay it down as fast as we can. I feel confident if I do all the things that I know how to do, that I'll be able to reel in this gap slowly but surely, and some help along the way would certainly certainly be welcome as well. You can see how far apart the pack is already, all the way back through the sand section, and we're crossing the finish line here. This is only on going into lap 7. So huge skill gap on this track. The guys up front, I think by the time the end of this race happened, we were like 25 seconds ahead of sixth place or something like that, and you could see Le Jefe made a mistake in that berm, went over the back of the berm. I get a bad whoop run, so he's still right on the back of me. You can hear him on the sound radar behind us. So here we go, the first position swap of the race. We've made our way into P1, kind of through a gift there, a mistake. Like I said, it's almost inevitable that is going to happen on this track. So this track away, I mean, not a different mentality totally from last week. Remember, we were in this position last week at Glendale with this gap pretty much the whole time, having to defend. But that's a little different because I felt like I had a little more agency over what was happening on track. This track just can catch you out much more than that last one. Stuff that maybe is not necessarily random, but it's definitely very precise. You have to be in just the right gearing, just the right RPM. See, I hung the wheel there on the triple again and absolutely yard sail the whoops. Le Jefe led off, I think, to not run into me, or maybe he was making his own mistake, so we don't lose all that much time. Immediately to the inside again, swapping the positions right back, have to double from the inside, almost get pushed down to the left there. I was trying to take away the triple line from Le Jefe, but he was still able to make it on the right side of us. So here we go, position swapped again, and it's going to be like this for the entire main event, so you guys better get used to this. It's going to be an entertaining rest of the race here. We got 13 minutes plus a lap to go. And as you guys, as we have this battle up front, I want you to take a look over to the right-hand side. That Honda Popular battling with the Ducati in purple there. He puts in an absolutely insane ride in this race, and was back all the way in probably like 12th, 13th, 14th at some point. And you're going to see how far up the field that he gets, because this battle for the lead gets kind of insane. You can see a much better whoop run from us until the very last two kind of get popped up there, railing through the end of the berm all the way over that double. Le Jefe kind of over the back of that berm. We're going to be side by side on this sand triple. I'm able to get it just a little bit better than he is, so boom, position swap again, back into first. Letting off a tiny bit for this first triple again. Oh, mistake. Got on the front end there, was able to save it, kind of corral it with the left trigger, slide our way into the berm. So we're right here, but we have immediate pressure right behind us. The Kawasaki in third and the Husqvarna in fourth. That's D-Mills NY and Nuked Ice Cream. They are right on our tail here, almost halfway through this race. So definitely not like last week where the top two were kind of checked out from the rest of the field. Everything's staying kind of close. You can see I clipped that a little bit, trying to play it defensive here. Got to clear this Supercross triple. Le Jefe's going to go to the left in the whoops, just see if he can make a pass on this berm, but we're able to stay right on top, so he's got to chop the speed at the very end, tuck in behind. And that is the name of the game on this track here at Seattle. Got to get through that whoop section clean, which is what Popular, the Honda racer, was doing from the back of the pack all race. And you're going to see that pays dividends for him towards the end of this one. But right now, it's just the two of us right here. This is the championship fight. Me in second in points, but first on track. We're swapping it out here. And you can see, go a little long in the second one. Kind of wheelie there. Got to bring the front end back down. And we've lost the lead once again, already off of Le Jefe sound radar, so we got to make up some time here. Unfortunate mistake. I definitely, in hindsight, understand why it happened, but in the heat of the moment, it's frustrating when something like that happens, when you feel like you didn't really do all that much wrong. So here we go. That's the triple landing that we want. And look how fast we're going to get across the top of these whoops right here. Boom. Carry that momentum all the way through the corner. Look how much time we made up just in that one whoop section there from being able to stay on top. So we want more of that moving forward here for the second half of this race, and we will still have a chance to cut into this points lead that Le Jefe has. Like I said, my heat race was pretty abysmal. I had good speed, but just weird mistakes. The same thing that happened to me on this section last lap happened on lap 1 in the heat race, and it sent me from second all the way back. Look at a mistake up front from Le Jefe into the pole there. Kind of an uncharacteristic mistake from one of the top guys to get the front end of the pole and kind of just stick on it right there. But huge for us because we're able to put the pressure right back on. I don't mind being in this position that we're in right here because we are able to apply all the pressure. Notice I'm taking a little bit more of that berm now because I want to get over the landing of that triple. Pretty clean, not quite the best on the last whoop there. Disrupted the suspension into the corner. Notice Le Jefe not fully taking that berm. He's decided to chop down a little early. Kind of clipped it right there. I had experimented with that in practice, not taking the full berm and kind of chopping it off early, and you could get it sometimes, but I didn't feel like it was consistent enough for what I wanted to do. Felt more consistent getting good solid laps, actually going to the berm and getting the full triple. Got to get a big let off here over this single, very steep on the backside of that single. You can jump it a little bit and play with the suspension to keep the momentum going, but I don't think anyone really wanted to risk that. Boom, little seat bounce there, little bounce in the suspension on that double-double. Boom, that's the triple landing that we want. This is going to be a good whoop run. Here we go. Notice I'm kind of like counter steering through those whoops to stay right on top of it, maybe chop like a teeny tiny bit of speed. It's more of just like a feel thing at that point. A mistake from Le Jefe right there. Boom, we're going to jump to the inside. Get in through the inside on the sand, carry the momentum. I'm going to push right a little bit right here because I want to set him up on the outside of this berm. Don't want to give him any opportunity to make a counter pass back, sorry. So boom, here we are through the end of this rhythm section. I think that's our 5th lead change of the race, and we still have 8 minutes plus a lap to go. So let's see if we can hold it. Right here, we're going to take this 353 to the inside, get a bump from Le Jefe, and we're off the goose. Notice he lets off the gas behind us. He felt bad for that one. Definitely wasn't an intentional move. We were just going for it. He hit me and just tumbled over the side of the goose, did a barrel roll, fell off the goose, so lost a lot of time. And that's bringing 3rd and 4th, and maybe even back to like P5 into this race. If we take a look back in the last section, 3rd and 4th battling it out right now. A little gap back to 5 and 6, but look at the Honda racer Popular as the Kawasaki D-Mills NY made a mistake. Popular has found himself into 3rd place with 7.5 minutes plus a lap to go. Remember, he was like 2 sections down, all the way in something like 13th place at one point in the race. Now, he did have a penalty called on him because of a pass that he made early on in the race, but none of us were quite aware of that at this point. So in our minds, he's just as much in this race as the rest of us. We got to keep an eye on that Honda because he is putting down consistent laps. I think the 3 of us up front here have pretty comparable speed right now, but notice all the mistakes trying to battle it out. This is a championship battle right here. Huge for the momentum in the championship, just like last week. If you're able to win these one-on-one fights, it can really help you out on the mental side of things, kind of prove that you got the sauce, you know. But as we're duking it out and battling, going back and forth, swapping the lead over and over, that Honda is getting closer and closer in 3rd. always keep an eye when the racer behind you is so close like this. You're using your ears to listen to where they go. You try not to look down at the radar at the bottom left too much. You can kind of see where they are relative to you there if you look on the radar. But if you're looking at the radar, then you're not as focused on what's happening on track. Everyone going inside there after the finish line section. Inside here, no one really taking the outside triple, is when you get this double-double just right. It's much faster. I make a mistake right there. You could hear the engine bog out in the berm. Went a little too fast in that berm, so we clipped the triple. And not the best whoop one right there. Got a single out of the whoops, and Le Jefe back into the lead, the 6th lead change of this race. And we're coming up on lap traffic. That's Eternal Dink, the privateer racer there, made his way into the main event. Good job from him to get in the last spot in the LCQ. He's going to pull off the side of the sand. And don't look back too fast, but that Honda in 3rd, who's been putting in such a great ride, he's getting a little bit closer. All these mistakes from the front too. Boom, little clip right there on the second jump of the section, but we're able to save it, triple out. So 5 minutes plus a lap. I'm not too stressed out at this point because, again, I feel like my speed is pretty solid, even though we're not getting the cleanest exits in these corners right now. So 5 minutes remaining, 5 plus 1. Losing a decent amount of time on this lap. Let's see what we can do. Boom, that's the triple landing that we want. So here we go. Can we get on top of the whoops? Mostly what we want right there. Could have been a little bit better. Still going outside here before the sand, so that way we can triple all the way in. Notice the little left turn. Tiny little left turn off the lip of that sand triple there to try to get the front end down. If you turn a little bit off of the top of the jumps in this game, for whatever reason, sometimes on certain jumps it likes to pitch the front end down a little more, which is what we want to be able to land all 4 tires at the same time, ideally, through these rhythm sections. Just like this, boom, kind of hang the back tire a little bit. That's going to let us carry a lot of speed over that little 353 wheelie tap into the corner, so we've made up some time on this lap. Got to clear this double-double. Nice. Make sure that we don't make a mistake in this berm. Round the berm, nice and clean. Boom, right there. That's the landing that we want. Good whoop run right here coming. Nice, all the way across the top. Notice you couldn't hear the suspension even making any noise as we traveled across the top of the whoops. That means that you're doing it right. So look at the time that we've gained just in the past lap and a half. Time is counting down quickly here. Making our way through the sand, trying to make sure that we keep the RPMs low enough to not change gears through the sand section so we can carry momentum. That's why we're turning a little bit extra, trying to turn to the left, maybe a little reset here and there. We've taken Popular out of it behind us a little bit, putting in some solid laps right here. So Honda caught us from two sections down, but now Le Jefe and I putting in some clean laps up front, able to keep him off of us just a little bit here, but still a great ride from the Honda and P3. But this is the fight up front that we want. Little mistake right there. Notice I'm cutting down off of this berm. I think I went a little too much to the left before the triple there. And notice, anytime I hang the back tires, even just a tiny bit on that triple landing, is when we get a bad run in the whoops. I think there's definitely a manipulation you could do in that situation with the left trigger to get a better run in that situation. But like I said, I had just practiced getting that triple clean every time and floating across the top of the whoops with all that momentum, the way that you saw me do the past couple of laps, but not able to do it this time. So look at the gap that we have to make up with only 2.5 minutes plus a lap remaining. I don't know if that's enough time to be able to make it up. You can see the Honda Popular right on our rear now. There's a lapped racer behind him. That's the Yamaha Elite MKB, I believe. And those were the two that had drama earlier in the race, so wondering if Elite is looking for any retaliation move right now. You can see it cutting off that berm again, and the same thing, just don't get a good lip. You could hear my suspension hit on the landing of that triple, so I just needed to be taking more berm there, which is confusing because I felt like I was doing it the same way I was doing in practice when I was getting it right, but apparently it was just not quite getting it right the way that I thought I was. So 2 laps in a row with bad whoop runs. We've kind of kept the gap mostly the same though. Didn't seem like a great whoop run for Le Jefe either. So, but a mistake right there. Front end went long into the last single there on the rhythm section. So lots of mistakes here, and look at the pressure that P3 is putting on now at this point. I want to be moving forward as much as I can, but you got to be aware of the person the potential that the person behind you could try to make a move if you leave one of these insides open. So trying to take the fast line to catch first, get our third victory of the season. You can see Mistake out front, case that double-double just like we had done a couple times here in this race. And again, hanging a wheel on that triple. That just means that we're not going to be able to get on top of that third or fourth whoop. So boom, that time that we made up from the Mistake instantly lost just in that whoop section. The whoop section is so critical on this track. And Popular has been the most consistent getting a good run in this whole race, and that's how he's made his way back up to third right behind us. So almost 2.5 laps to go, or a little less than 2.5 now, because that clock in the bottom right is ticking down. As soon as that hits zeros and we cross the line, it's going to be 1 to go. So it seems like this race is going to be ending on 23 laps. We're about to go on to the 22nd lap here, so we're going to finish 22, the clock will be at zeros, and then we're going to finish 23 and the race will be over. You can see I got a personal best sector time there at the bottom left, so we are cooking here, pushing on these final 2 laps. I've been here before. I know what it takes to reel in someone with just a tiny bit amount of time. I feel like this is where I do my best work, so let's get on top of this whoop section nice and clean. Boom, look at it. Almost made up 5 bike lengths there just in one whoop section with a lap and a half to go here, so we are really applying the pressure, trying to get on Le Jefe's sound radar, make him think about something other than his race. Looks like he got a little bad landing into the sand there. So we are getting everything we can out of this gas machine here that we are racing for, making our way up. Boom, jump long into the corner there, rail around the end of the berm. Look at the time that we've made up just in 1 lap here. We're about to get the white flag. Can we make it happen? Can we go back to back Glendale and Seattle? Boom, personal best sector time, overall best lap time into the 55s. We are cooking here in Seattle with just a lap to go. Almost a little short right there, got the seat bounce, got to make sure that we cleared the triple here. I take a little bit wider of an arc there. Here we go, get on top of the whoop section, final lap here. A little mistake from Le Jefe, boom, we're on his sound radar, just 2 mongoose lengths off. Gonna jump to the inside here before the sand. He went a little wide. We double into the sand, he rolls into the sand. I think he forgot in the moment that the double option was available, and we've taken the lead here with just a lap, just a half a lap to go. Is there going to be a desperation move from Le Jefe? The points leader is up the inside. I go wide to make sure he can't make contact. 1 more jump to go. Round this corner, we have a single, just this roll with lap traffic ahead, and we're going to go back to back here. Glendale into Seattle, taking the victory on the final lap. 7 lead changes in that one. What a race. Oh, devastating if you're Le Jefe, the points leader, because there were so many chances. What a ride from Popular, bringing it in. Popular ends up actually getting second on track, but because of his penalty, moves him back to third. So the finishing results are me, Le Jefe, Popular, D Mills NY on the Kawasaki with his best ride of the season in 4th. The Husqvarna man of Nuked Ice Cream in 5th. Camonized the other Cowie. Barry with a great ride. Le Jefe's teammate on the Triumph in 7th. You see the rest of the racers filing in here to this not so straight line. Man, what a main event right there. So many mistakes, so many lead changes, but the only one that mattered was the one at the very end that got us into P1 with a half a lap to go through the sand section. Man, that is an insane race, so entertaining. What a ride. Super happy with that one. We've chopped the points lead down to 1. We're going to be 1 point down going into next week in Arlington, back to Texas for the 2nd time in the series. Man, what a race. That one was awesome. Super happy to get the dub on that one. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you next week back in Texas.